to the Barnes reunion, 2021.
Yes.
We've got a ceremony to go with it.
Oh, okay. We want everybody down there. Maybe the official car.
Must need his coffee.
Let's
Yep.
more faces
Yeah.
over this.
Oh, you mean the car?
That's the ceremony, right?
I wrote a short article about the car. It's called the 37 Ford Cabriolet. Cabriolet means rumble seat on a coupe. The last one was built in 39. Larry had the 37. And this article here that I wrote, 3 pages, talks about the history of the car. And it turns out if you take a car and get the history of it, you actually end up with the history of the family. Now that's amazing how that works. So I started out and said, well, Larry put the brakes on there, 1940 Ford, because there weren't any brakes, hydraulic brakes, until 1939. So this being the 37, he had to put brakes on it. He had a rag top on there, it looked like a jungle, come out of a jungle. He didn't like it, so he put a white one on. I've got a girl sewing the white cover on. It's all complete. She can't get a couple parts because of the COVID, and they don't have enough customers to order something, so it's a big hassle. I may have to mail it down to Lawnie, but it's a white cover that goes on this. The rumble seat is just with springs when we got it. We put carpet underlayment, kind of hard. You put it on the springs so the springs don't come through, and then you put the foam on top of the underlayment. So that's where the rumble seat is. The car needed tires, 4 tires. The hubcaps didn't match. Larry never found a matching set. Luckily at home I had 2 more that did match, so I got 4 matching hubcaps and 4 beauty rings for it. My friend Chuck took it on as a project, he and I, and he rebuilt the motor, the original 1937. It had the original standard bore in it, which means it hadn't been overhauled or touched yet. So he touched it and put a 30 thousandths over and rebored a few holes in it. We put an external oil pump so it'll build pressure up to 30 pounds or better. We went through the rear end, it's okay. Transmission just fine. The gas tank was full of gravel and sand and gasoline. So we took that out. It just dropped out, it was so heavy. And we put another gas tank out of Chuck's spare gas tank out of his 37 pickup. Fit perfect. The headlights used to be a tail light with a reflector on the back. And when you drive in the day, you can only go 15 miles an hour at night because you can't see past the tail light lens. So we put in a smaller seal beam, which came out of the cars built in the late 50s with 4 headlights in it, and they're smaller. So it fit the hole perfectly, and this is upgraded to 12 volts. It's got an alternator in it, so you don't have to fool with a generator or voltage regulator. The motor runs great. Got the original carburetor in it. The grill I cleaned up with vinegar and tin foil. Cleaned it up because you can't buy them hardly. If you do, they're $2,400 for a grill, and they're aftermarket and they're cheesy and they're light. So we just cleaned up the original one, which is on the car. The header I made, the old header had leaked, and some of the wood was rotten, so I just went out and got the piece of maple and we made a new header for it. Larry had this style of the white on the door because he didn't want to burn his arm when he put it on in the summer months with black paint. The spare tire goes behind the seat. Larry had a purple dash, which he added. Somebody did. It has wax on it. It's cleaning up real nice. The seat, bucket seats, and the upholstery inside Larry had. Larry also had this stainless steel welting along the fender. He had a hot rod. But the problem is you try to get parts for it, and you can get some parts like bumpers and bumper horns, but you've got to actually modify it to upgrade it to use it. So it's a real tight car. It's like brand new. It's got probably 5 miles on it, or maybe 7 now. 7 miles. But in the book here, when you read about it, I bought a book, a 1938 Ford reference book, owner's manual at the stamp store. And it's an 85 horse motor. And when you read about the motor, when Ford builds it, it's ready to go. You don't have to tune it up. You don't have to adjust any valves, anything. You just run it. That's what it says in the book. And you can read about all the nice features about the radio and the banjo steering wheel, which is not in there. So here's a brand new, how to change a tire. So I thought maybe Lawnie might need that. And it shows a tool here to change the tire. It shows you how to line the wheels if they get out of alignment. There's a copy of Larry's obituary stuff. And this is, I don't know how I ended up with it, but I did. It's Larry Barnes' letter sweater.
Oh my gosh.
And it's got one little hole, moth hole right there. But I think Lisa had it. It goes with the car.
Okay.
That's his letter sweater when he had the car.
Unbelievable.
You didn't have to wear that and drive it around.
Seriously.
Yeah. When I was taking apart the canvas top that looked like a jungle, this 50-cent Walking Liberty came out of it and fell out of it on the floor. So this was in the car when Larry bought it, and he didn't know that it was in there, otherwise he'd have spent it.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy.
Good.
Yeah, good. Welcome. Kurt's just telling the history of the car here. 37.
In the U.S. Navy, when you build a sailing ship, you put a silver dollar of the year of manufacture under the mast of the ship, and you put the mast up and the silver dollars at the base of it. So in honor of naval tradition, since I was in the Navy, Seeley found a 1937 penny. And Chuck looked around his coins, he found a Buffalo nickel, 1937. So these guys go under the mast of the ship, but we thought it'd be better just stick it in the ashtray. So these are for good luck. They go with a car. They're never to be spent. So Lawnie, this is your car. And here's a box. This is made with a cedar tree from North Idaho, made by one of the 11 sawmills in Coeur d'Alene. And it was one by cedar, so I just cut it up, put it there, and the sweater fits in
This
there.
is the sweater.
Oh, that's awesome.
Here, let me put this 4-bit piece in there. So that's the story of the car. We took a year to fix it up for Lawnie, and it's a Barnes car, so there it is. If anybody wants to ride in it, Lawnie's trained now. He's trained to drive it.
I
Of
have.
course, you can't change the tire yet, right?
I don't know.
I don't know about changing a tire, but I can show them how.
You were
The-
gonna
the
show us
alignment
after
has
we
got-
eat.
If I could actually align my own car, I'd be amazed.
There it is,
Curtis,
your car.
that is so awesome. So, you told me.
Aren't you going to start it up?
I can. I do want to say. You said 1960 was the last
About.
time this has been running. I was born in 71. This has literally started off before me, but the first time I saw it was tucked on the side of the garage next to the vineyard. It actually looked the same when I dropped it off a year ago as it did almost 50 years ago, even though it was outside in elements. Obviously, more rust, bigger holes in the roof, but to see it come from that, which I've known for 50 years, to this,
Well, I want you to find out who put the sand and the gravel in the gas tank.
There's no,
To filter the bad gas.
That's the filter oil, yeah, gas filter, yeah.
I'd be glad to take responsibility for that. It wouldn't make sense to do that, but you just, as a kid, who knows?
Well, why don't you start it up and
I
let
will.
these people hear a good rumble.
I will, and I really, the sweater is a nice touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm recording them.
Cool.